All right. Hello and welcome to our Q&A session. And thank you very much for being here today. We are recording this session so you can catch up later on YouTube if you missed the live event. So today we will explore what it means to be a facilitator at CELA Academy, but I think it would be relevant almost to any other academy in the sister network. And we want to hear the stories of our panel speakers and answer questions of those who are interested to join this. I would call it a community within the community, because I think those who facilitated would agree they share a special bond among themselves. And so let's start by introducing our today's guest speakers. So we have Susan Sutterfield today. Susan helped along with Meet and others to start CELA and other networks, and we're glad to have her with us today. And Susan is the one in charge for Facilitators Academy. She's the one to set the standards, and it's great that she joined us today. We also have Ahmed Yehia from MELA, Egypt, and we also have Alexander Sandro Jejelava from CELA 9, Georgia. And we have Armine Sargsyan from CELA 15, Armenia. We expect a couple of more people to join. We expect particularly Ashok Mittal from CELA, and Narine Kotikyan from CELA 11 Armenia, and Malika Koyanbayeva from CELA 11 Kazakhstan. So we have basically 1 hour and today, and lots to cover. So please keep your answers short and sweet. And thank you again for being a vital part of our community. And we begin with 3 key questions. And once we cover these questions, I'll open the floor to questions from the audience. I also invite you to share a little bit about yourself and your daily work as we move along. So the first question, pretty much simple. So what made you want to become a CELA facilitator? And in case if it continued for years, has your motivation changed over time? If you did this more than once. And I think we will start with Susan. Susan, please.
Good morning. So I've been lucky enough and actually grateful for the opportunity to be at every CELA so far. And so for 22 years, we've been involved in CELA, and it's made such a difference in my life. That's what's kept me coming back. I had different roles in the early days, but in the last, 10 or 12 years, I've been a facilitator or in some role in the facilitator side. And what keeps me coming back is the people, number one, the people I meet again and again, and how much richer my life is for, and honestly, Meads and my life together. This has been a huge part of our life. And we just keep coming back because we can't not. It's a not for those of you that know about Merrick's stuff, Merrick first things that he does at CELA, he's done at CELA. So it's a not for us.
Yeah, that's a cool analogy. Exactly. It's not. Thank you, Susan, for sharing your insights. And now, Ahmed, could you tell us about your thoughts on this? Okay, you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I'm here. So for me, I start facilitating in CELA, in MELA first, and I did it for many years, and then I decided now I need to know how is it on the other side. Like, I want to see what's happening in CELA, I want to see what's happening in CELA. That's why I first went to CELA in Malaysia, and I found actually the the academy, or the master class as we call it, a little bit different, because the participant have a different way of receiving the data, processing the data, and interacting with the group. And then when I went to CELA the next year, I found also a different behavior in certain ways that it's not common in the Middle East, where I kept doing facilitation over there. So my main objective was to explore what's happening in different academies. And the journey so far was so beneficial. Like I learned a lot during this exploration trip between different academies. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. What about you, Armine? That was your first time, right? Last year's academy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm from CELA 15, and yes, last CELA 17 was my first time facilitation, and I absolutely loved it, and looking forward to more of that experience. So, what was that for me? It was at some level like giving back to CELA, but also rejoining, reconnecting to that spirit, to that energy of CELA, reconnecting with like-minded people, to learn with them, to explore with them, to join the journey of learning and growth. And also facilitating overall is a process of sharing, right? And when we share, we grow and we help others to grow. And from this point of view, it is very rewarding experience, knowing that you have become part of someone's journey of becoming better version of themselves. It is indeed very, very rewarding. It's short, all this process of facilitating, it's like celebrating the differences and the unity at the same time, unity of that spirit that we can find only in this network.
Wow, that sounds very inspiring. Sandro, you did this multiple times. What's your perspective on that?
Okay, so I did 7 facilitations across all 4 networks. I've been at NALA, at CELA, at MELA, and at CELA. First time when I came back after becoming part of CELA, I came back as a facilitator at MELA, and it was the first intention. There were 2 intentions. One was to go through the same thing again, but with more knowledge of the process. So basically, I wanted to re-experience the academy. That was one. And the second, as it was said here, was to see if it's different in different culture. And I was really afraid, actually, of how different it may be and how would I fit and how would people be willing to learn and interact and so on. And it was amazing experience for me. And after that, I kept coming back. One reason was that I could do it because my calendar allows basically to take time off, and I see people like me and Susan and others doing this for 20-something times, and I felt obliged, kind of, if I'm able actually to give back, as Armine and others said. And also on each academy being a facilitator, apart from networking, apart from going through the academy again, I actually managed to deeply think about things of my own and grow farther. So I can say that I've been 8 times at the academy, including 1 as a member and 7 times as a facilitator. And also all the fun and all the connection and all the love that is flowing there. I cannot say that I have anything closely similar to the emotions and to the energy that academies bring. So that's that for me.
Can we say it's slightly addictive?
It is addictive, but it's also too much, I would say. Like this year, I took kind of little break because I had so much energy and so much emotion that you need to pace it, I would say. Yeah.
So how actually has
Thank you,
being a
Sandra.
facilitator
Thank you.
affected
All right.
you in
The
your
next
day
question.
job and in general in your communications with other humans?
So, what I want to also share is when you walk out from facilitating, you walk out tired but inspired at the same time. It's a huge dose of inspiration. It's as much inspirational for facilitators as it is for participants. So from this point of view, yes, you come back to your work inspired and like feeling that you're flying. It's like you just got the fresh air into your lungs. Also, from practical point of view, it helps to become a better listener, more empathetic listener in your daily life and in your job overall. So yes, there is impact, good impact and big impact on your everyday life and in your job as well, definitely.
And you do communications and marketing, right?
Yes, I do marketing and communications. Yes, and being a good listener and like empathetic listener is really very important in my job.
Great, great. So we have actually Malika joining us, Malika from CELA 7 Kazakhstan. And that was also your first experience at the CELA 17 Academy. So how was it, how it was for you, how it helped you?
Well,
Afterwards.
first, I actually was very nervous. Maybe I was the most nervous, not participant, but a facilitator. You see, I'm because I felt that, wow, how am I going to facilitate all these smart, outstanding individuals? And I think the first 2 days that we had our orientation time was crucial for becoming much more confident and successful. So basically, when you are a co-facilitator, you have a partner with you who actually leads the process, and you're just there to learn, to observe. You do some work, of course. For each session, you get this paper that gives the outline of what is going to be, and we basically go through the whole 10 days within these first 2 days. And you do understand how it is going to happen, what is going to happen, what to expect. And there you just act accordingly. And the fact that we have only 6 people in a group and 2 facilitators really helps. I think the set is so convenient that you actually do spend enough time with each of participants. So I think for the first time facilitators, there is nothing to worry about because there is a co-facilitator who is sitting next to you and who actually creates the atmosphere for you to hold the space properly. So you learn from that person, and I understood there was nothing to worry about.
But Malika, how this experience helped you afterwards in your like day job and in general in your life and your communication with others?
You know, I work with teenage kids mostly, and I always like strive to be interesting, to give them some kind of unusual exercises, unusual challenges to show that, you know, I'm tough and you still have to grow towards my direction. So some of the exercises I used for my students who learn English, like red and blue, and something else. So practically, this is like something like applied knowledge that I received. But overall, you get inspired. You get to know wonderful individuals. You feel relieved. It's also kind of like an opportunity to jump out of your daily routine. And I did come back inspired. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first question. That's why I wasn't very particularly clear. Maybe it is definitely a great thing to do because you recharge your brain. You recharge your batteries, and you get to know lots of interesting people. And the best thing, they look at you like they look up at you because you are a facilitator. So you feel that you're obliged to satisfy their needs, and that's why kind of you grow yourself in your own eyes. So definitely it was a great experience, especially if you are a person like me, a little bit shy, reserved. It was a game changer.
Thank you, Malika. The statement about recharging batteries is quite debatable. We can come back to that later.
Well, you get energy from people around you, right? It's not always that you get energy from lots of sleep and rest, but from people,
that's true.
You do. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Malika. Well, Ahmed, you are sitting now.
Yes.
We can see
yes.
it. Over
yes.
to you. Over to you. What was your experience afterward? Like, how did this affected your life?
So I did facilitation before MELA, before joining MELA. And when I came to the master class in MELA 7, 2016, I thought I have a good experience, but actually MELA shocked me with the amount of information, with the flow of the program. That's why I wanted to come back, maybe to pay back to MELA, but also to learn more about how to be a better facilitator. The thing is, I got involved with MELA so much to the extent I'm now part of the curriculum committee who designed the curriculum for MELA. So now it's not only about facilitation, it's about the learning experience, how people go through a program, how can the program help them to develop their lives. And it's so interesting being a facilitator, working with others, and then noticing the change that happened to people from day 1 to day 10. It's phenomenal, especially if you are on the backstage watching what's happening. And we learn a lot out of that. So this is one thing. So personally, for me, I learn a lot about humans and how people interact with each other and how they develop themselves. The other important aspect of being a facilitator is networking. So we, as part of the masterclass or a part of the academy, we network with others. So going to 9 academies now, I think I managed to develop a big network of friends all over the world. And this network for an entrepreneur like myself helps a lot. Like I can connect with anyone, anywhere in the world if I need help, if I need support. And mutually, I can provide support to others if it's needed. So I think the networking part is amazing. Being a facilitator in different networks. So this is for me. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, Ahmed. Sandra, what about you?
I would say that there are few things that I get from the facilitation every time. One is this opportunity to go away from your life and kind of zoom out, because I know that everybody here is very busy, and sometimes you need to look at your own life and your own work from afar. And I always use this opportunity at the academy to talk to Ahmed, Mead, Bill, and others about the things that I left back home. So it is kind of like consultancy boot camp together with all the nice things that we are getting. So that would be one thing, definitely. Second will be, I can definitely tell you like 20 advices, particular advices I have received through these years, which I know changed my life in all areas, including my family, including, I know, everything, absolutely everything, including my business and leadership and everything, right? So that would be another thing. And the third thing definitely will be the principles of facilitation. This is very unique. I will never forget, I keep repeating it at every Facilitator Academy, that this statement that whenever you open your mouth, you are taking up the air of someone else. So like to take this example, I mean, I would probably understand it, 20 years later or never. So that, and now I understand these principles very well, and I use them everywhere because my business is very close actually to leadership training, to doing speaking and training and facilitation. So that's very very direct connection with what I do, and helps me a lot every day.
Wow, I actually never thought that this experience helped you to look at your own life from the perspective. So this is kind of productive escapism from your own life, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Susan, you've done this obviously for like more than 2 decades, and it shaped partially your personality. Can you share with us your thoughts about
Yeah,
that?
that's so true. I'm echoing everything that everybody said so far. For me personally, I'm a retired nurse, and I don't work for money anymore, but I do work for a community organization. I'm very busy at home here with that, and I've taken on roles that I wouldn't have probably even considered before, because and part of it is a lot of my skills have been honed through the years at CELA and the different roles I've had. So it's benefited me a lot to be so involved that way, but also just the personal way that so many people that I've been able to interact with and get a different perspective on life. The listening skills are certainly way better than they used to be. And the ability to see different parts of the world as more familiar because I know people there. I live in the United States, so I could easily not think about what happened in Azerbaijan or, Dubai or whatever, but because I know people who live all over the world now, and it personalizes it for me, different parts of the world for me that I never would have had before CELA.
Thank you, Susan. We have Narine joined us just a couple of minutes ago. Narine is from CELA 11 Armenia, my fellow CELA group. And Narine also facilitated for the first time last year along with Ahmed. Narine, we are discussing what this experience actually added to your life. What are your thoughts about that?
Okay, yeah. I'm so happy to see all of you. Sorry for being a little bit late, but I'm happy that I could join. So, hello, lovely people. And my experience, I'm sure, like I heard a few of the comments and kind of inputs. It resonates really with me too, all of them. I'm sure the rest that has been said is also true for myself. One thing I would like to mention is like the gap between my academy here and when I got back as a facilitator. So I had 9 silent years before I got back, like came back to CELA last year. So basically since 2015, 9 years. So it was a very special moment in terms of like really going back to that entire experience. In a sense, I was going through all the exercises and like processes myself as well. Ahmed, by the way, was like pushing me to do this too, and it was very helpful since it was like a long time thing for me at that point. And what was like really critical for me, I think, is that it was a chance to really stop, as Sandra mentioned, and reflect and take this time off from your routine. Like it's hectic, it's busy for all of us, I'm sure, but you deliberately make yourself slow down, reflect, go through this intensive thinking process, intensive discussing process in a sense. And kind of making some decisions and observations and this kind of things moving forward. That was really good for me. I mean, I was active with CELA Armenia during all of these years, but I never found time to go to commit this much of a time. But now when I did it, now I have applied to the MELA thing this year. I'm sure I would apply to some others. It's a lot of effort. I mean, we need to be clear about this, but it is definitely worth it if you ask me. So you commit 10 days and nights or 12 days and nights. There would be like tens of double espressos during the day, certain crushes over the process of this 2 weeks. I mean, I was dying at a certain moment, like saying, Ahmed, please have my back. I need to go and nap somewhere for 15 minutes because I just can't carry on anymore. But it was lovely, and there is like zero regret about doing this, and I'm happy and ready to do it again. So this is the perspective. One very interesting thing for me was like seeing the backstage of the academy. It was like I started to appreciate the process and the effort and the input from the organizers on a totally different level. I mean, this is one thing when you see how this is working, like from on the front end, let's say. But when you see the back end, it's a totally different level of effort and commitment and care and everything that you see. And like the processes, the people, the impact is becoming is getting a totally new meaning for you. So I think that's also one important aspect that we can consider, like when going there as a facilitator. So I don't know. I hope this resonates with you too. So
Thank you, Narine. I think everything what you said is just confirming once again one of the key statements of our community. Like, one CELA is always CELA. It doesn't matter that you were silent for 9 years. You can always emerge in a new role. The door is always open. Let's say someone is unsure about applying to facilitate for the first time, or they were denied in the previous attempts. What advice would you give? What helped you to take the plunge? What would you say are the most rewarding aspects of the role? It might be slightly repetitive with the previous question, but still maybe there are other nuances you didn't share yet. So can you talk about some of your most meaningful experiences as a facilitator, and why those who are unsure about it should still continue to apply to facilitate? Sandro, let's start with you.
Thank you, Dina. So first of all, I would say that I had a lot of doubts myself when going first time for facilitation, especially in other region. As I said, I started in MELA, and I was terrified of the prospect that it will be completely different experience. Somehow this magic of CELA will not meet me there. And I was terrified of that. I was terrified of being a junior and newbie facilitator, although I had some experience, but I didn't have experience in this particular thing. So I was afraid of that, and to let down basically the people who chose me and so on. I would say that Facilitator Academy is a game changer. I could not imagine now doing that without the Facilitator Academy. And as I said, I've gone through the Facilitator Academy 7 times already, and every time it makes you stronger and gives you energy and so on. So I would say that this changes a lot. And also, like they say in academies, everybody's problem is everybody else's problem. So same thing in North America, same thing in Middle East, same thing in Southeast Asia. So you are basically much closer to the other cultures than you might believe. So I would say overcome your fears. You're already people who are living that way anyway. So overcome this fear and try to just jump in the water for once. If you are selected, or try to take advice from people. I did that before applying. I asked people if they thought it will be beneficial for me and so on. And I received a lot of very good advice, actually, that helped me to decide, and also helped me to be useful and overcome my anxieties related to the whole thing.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Susan, how would you encourage newcomers to apply?
Well, I understand the terror, first of all, but for any all of us have it. And even each academy, sometimes I'm like, oh, because it's always different. It's always different people, and the mix of different people makes a different academy. The program has evolved too over the years, and so it's always new and it's always fresh, at least for me. To remember that facilitator or facilitation means basically to make something easier for somebody. That's all we're trying to do. As facilitators, we don't have to know more than everybody else. We don't have to have lots of life advice for everybody else. That's not the role. The role is to help the participants experience the program more beneficially for them in whatever way that plays out. So it's a great experience for you yourself personally. It's a great experience, great way to give back to the network. It's a great way to give to others, and with benefits for yourself. And you come out of it a different person than you went in.
Thank you,
And
Susan.
we do have training. And it really does make a difference for whether you feel more ready. I mean, you might not feel perfectly ready, but you're going to feel better after the 2 days that we spend together rehearsing what the academy experience might be like as a facilitator.
Thank you, Susan. I'm particularly glad that you underlined the difference between because many people, as I perceive it, confuse coaching, teaching with facilitation. And facilitating at CELA Academy is not something like that. Malika, what about you? How would you encourage newcomers? I know, especially it's Astana, you're Astana resident. Please, resolve some of the myths about this city, because people think it's either too cold or too hot or whatever.
Probably July is the best place to visit Astana because it has become so that it's not so cold as it used to be, and it's very nice and warm. So I actually felt an extra obligation, probably because I was I'm here, I reside here, so I thought, oh, I have to be even a better host. So I tried hard. I don't know how it went out, but I felt some obligation because of this thing. But I do have to say that I think it's very important what Susan has said about the fact that you are not expected to be the smartest one or the brightest one or be the better person than anyone else. And therefore, when you understand that, you kind of it is a relief. And because Susan is there and I think their support is great. As much as we could appreciate their support while being part of the academy as students, it is also there. You still have it, even though you are a facilitator, you're kind of like maybe a little bit higher level, but still this support is still there. So it was great. And also what I wanted to say, why it's so beneficial for us, because we do see the transformation of people. You have this privilege of seeing the process that goes through the minds, through the spirits, through the souls of our participants, and you are part of this. This is such a privilege that you probably do not get anywhere else, unless you're maybe a coach or some like kind of psychologist or high level I don't know, educator maybe. But here you have this, and you go through some kind of transformation with them, and I think this is a unique chance that no one should miss. If you have this is the greatest opportunity probably in the transformation process, because first you watch people to going through this, and you automatically go through that as well. And as Susan mentioned, this training that we have 2 days before the training, it also helps a lot. It's like kind of like an intense program, so it's also good. No doubt,
Malika.
do it. Yeah.
Narine, over to you.
my only advice would be just go and try, and you would love it. So like, no need to overthink. You just need to do it, and you will understand a lot about how it works and how it fits to yourself, for example. But just be careful, because I think it develops some kind of addiction. You would definitely want to go back. So you will have hard time later on to decide, because now you know also the hard part of it. So you would really feel that you are more capable and you can do this, and you would love the process. But again, you would also know the difficulties of it. But I'm like 100% sure, like it's no doubt that if you are there as a facilitator, you would totally love it. You would bond with people on a totally different level, and you would want to go back. So that's it.
Thank you. That's once again about the addiction. Ahmed, what about you? What would you say?
Thank you, Dina. Allow me, Dina, to show our friend here that the amazing side of being a facilitator and the challenging side of being a facilitator, in order for them to understand the big picture as I see it. So
Sure.
let's start with the amazing side. So the amazing side of being a facilitator, you will have the chance to attend the academy again, the 10 days, and you'll do all the exercises. You'll listen to all the lecturers who are there. You'll get benefit of as if you are attending the academy again. And because the academy evolved year over year, so most probably the academy you attended, especially if you attended it 4, 5, 6 years ago, would be different than the academy you will attend again as a facilitator. So re-attending the academy is a great advantage for the facilitators. It gives you time to think about your life, to reflect on your life again and again and again. So it's an amazing opportunity. For example, I attended 9 academies, and I do have 9 lifelines, and they are different. So each time I do my lifeline, I add more events happen in my life that I didn't remember when I did the previous lifeline. And I reflect on my lifeline each time differently than the academy before. So doing the exercises again and again give you more perspective, more views. And the challenging part of being a facilitator is, if you already a lecturer or a coach, then you will face hard time to be a facilitator, because facilitators are not giving any advices to participants. The most important skill of a facilitator is to listen. This is the most important thing. So if you are a good listener, please apply to be a facilitator. The next skill that you need to acquire is asking questions, how to ask questions. And asking questions during the 2 days before the masterclass or before the academy, during the facilitator academy, we learn a lot about how to ask questions. But the main skill stay listener. If you're a good listener, and then you got to know through the academy how to ask the right question, then you are perfect facilitator. So if you do have these 2 skills, it's done. Apply. But if you have a tendency to lecture people, or you have a tendency to give advice to people, then it will be so hard for you. And the other thing is, don't go to the academy while you have workload. Like, you need to reply to emails, you need to have some meeting calls or Zoom calls for your work. Don't do that, because during the 10 days, it's a full-time thing. We wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and usually some of us go to bed at 1 a.m. and it's all working. So no time to do any work, no time to do anything beside the academy. So if you are going to the academy, you need to dedicate the 10 days to the academy with no other things. And of course, I need to stress on the workload. It's a huge workload. So be prepared for that. So if you are coming to the academy, of course, day one, we are all energetic. We are all full of energy. But during day 9 and day 10, we are super exhausted. And it appears on our faces. So be prepared for that too. So this is my contribution for your question, Dina.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. I think you mentioned very important, practical, down-to-earth things. Because, I mean, everyone is saying how it's cool, how it's addictive, but no one is mentioning how actually intense it is. Let's conclude with Armine and then give the floor to the audience.
Yes, and if the thought of becoming facilitator, the idea of applying for facilitation ever crossed your mind, then I have to say, go for it. Like, you definitely cannot not go for it. Like Susan mentioned, this is something you definitely want to know if you enjoyed the academy. And I'm sure you did. So this is, like I said before, doing the academy again, and it's been mentioned from many of you. First of all, second of all, it's whole new and whole different experience and whole different world to explore. You explore new world and you explore yourself in your role in that new world. It's an excellent place to rethink about about yourself, about your own life. So yes, what I would say to those who doubt to apply for facilitation or not, of course you have to go for it. And I share basically all the ideas that already are mentioned by my friends. It's all true, whatever they said. You have to be prepared that it's not going to be easy. It's tiring. It's exhausting. But it's at the same time rewarding and it's transformational. Like I already said, it's transformational. Get ready to go through transformation one more time from different angle, because now you are not a participant, now you are a facilitator, and you are becoming part of someone's life-changing experience. So why not? If this idea have ever crossed your mind, then this is definitely something you want to do.
Great responses. Thank you very much. I'm open now floor for questions from our audience. And we also have Chopin here. He's currently facilitating CELA Academy. It must be very late for you, Chopin, now. So if anyone is interested to ask about CELA, to know more about CELA or MELA Academy as well, we have people to answer. Eldegis, please unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. Firstly, thank you very much for all the information. I want to say it's very, very valuable. I didn't expect it to be that valuable, to be honest, but I mean, the amount of advices and the insights I've received is overwhelming. Secondly, my question is fear-driven. One of the fears that I have, besides all that have been mentioned so far, is I have been a student at the academy, and it was an amazing experience. And I envy those people that haven't passed it, because I know I can never go back. Now, how difficult it is to hold yourself as a facilitator to start acting as a student again? Because I would assume it is tempting. It would be tempting to fall for being a student again, just to get a glimpse of that experience, of that feelings, of those emotions once again. How difficult it is to keep yourself in control, and what are the tips that you may give to someone who is going to go through a facilitating experience for the first time? Thank you.
All right, who wants to answer?
Yes, I would like to answer, because that was my challenge. Sorry, just jump into conversation because it was really my case, my challenge. I had to remind myself all the time that, Armine, calm down. You are not the participant. You are a facilitator. Like, keep how to deal with it, because it is challenging, not like for the first time, to differentiate yourself from the beginning that I am the facilitator here, I'm not a participant. And what I was doing, I simply reminding myself, like, calm down, you are not a participant. You have a role here, different role. And that helped me actually. But I do remember I was struggling with that challenge, and that was also like part of that was also beauty of the experience, that shifting role. You
I may add,
were participant, a learner, active learner. Now you are from the other side in the same story, and dealing with it also has beauty of experience.
to add to what Armina just said, I think it's, I mean, you don't go through this journey just by yourself. So you are getting a very active and proactive help. So as one of the like speakers mentioned, the Facilitator Academy is like just changing your perspective on such a different level. I mean, I was freaked out that I can't do this. No way. But in 2 days, you are totally ready, and you are mentally, psychologically comfortable to start the process. First of all, it was totally unbelievable. And I'm one of those that have this teaching experience, this and that, likes to talk a lot, is not the best listener, and so on. So, but you are getting all of this support. And also, most importantly, you are always paired with someone that has done this for many years. Like in my case, it was Ahmed with 9 times facilitator, like being facilitator. So you have this constant support and someone that's helping you and pretty much babysitting if needed along the way. But you have absolute support in every aspect. You do all these briefings and kind of feedback sessions in the mornings. You have this very experienced facilitator next to you. It's no problem at all. You really feel, you enjoy it. You don't feel like you are suffering or overcoming something. You just go into the flow and you do this. So no problem in this sense.
Ahmed, please.
So, attending the academy as a participant or as a facilitator, the thing is, you attend, even if you are a facilitator, you attend the academy as a participant. So you have the chance to attend all the plenary sessions in the morning. You don't have a role during the lectures, the plenary. So you can grab the information as if you are a participant, if you don't have any other role. And then during the learning groups, you have the chance also to run all the exercises on yourself. We do this during the first 2 days, the academy days, like the Facilitator Academy. We go through all the exercises, we do it ourselves. Then during the academy itself, with the participant, we do the exercises again on ourselves. The nice thing about the learning group is it's 2 facilitators together. So they support each other, they help each other, and usually the mechanism is one experienced facilitator with one new facilitator. So you are always in a safe hand. You don't need to think a lot about it because you always have a backup to use or to ask if you have any doubts. And then after the learning group, the 2 facilitators sit with each other, share the feedback, share the what went good, what went bad, what's need to be improved. And then the next learning group, they are better and better and better. So no worries about it's your first time. You always have the academy, the Facilitator Academy, the morning briefing that we do as facilitator team together. We usually meet for 1 hour before the start of the plenary each day. And then you have your co-facilitator with you in the room, who usually, if you are a first timer, usually you will have an experienced one with you. So this is my feedback for you, Aldega.
Thank you, Ahmed. I want you to talk a little bit how facilitating is actually intense experiences, about the routine. I want people to understand that it's a bit challenging. I mean, it's rewarding, but it's also challenging. They need to understand what they are subscribing for. I mean, you partially already mentioned that. Susan, maybe you want to talk about it a bit? Like, how do you ensure you are in a stable place, like physically, mentally, and emotionally, to show up fully for the participants?
Yes, some of the aspects have been mentioned, Sandro and Ahmed. And several others. It's very intense. We start 2 days ahead of the academy, so you're basically out of your home for 2 weeks by the time you're going and coming, depending on where you live. So you're dedicating 2 weeks of your life to CELA Academy and the participants. And so I think somebody already mentioned, if you have a big project coming up at work, if you're super busy at work, this is not the time for you to do this, because there's no time for much of anything else except for your role as a facilitator. Because we start early, we start in the morning we have 2 days, very intensive days of training, and then we start the academy, and then it is like bang from there. And we start at 8:00 or earlier for the meeting, and then we go straight to plenary, and then we're in plenary all day, whatever the day is calling for, and then we have a learning group, and then after that there are social things, or there's dinner, and there's whatever the day is calling for. And so, there's sometimes people don't get as much sleep as they might in another situation, but the most important thing is to get up every morning ready for this role and not anything outside of that. No distractions, no work, no hi family, bye family kind of thing. It's just the dedication to this, because our role is to make the academy the best experience it can for the participants. To support the program, to support Bill and all the faculty, and to help each person as best we can with our interactions to have the best experience they can have.
Thank you, Susan. All right, as we wrap up, I want to thank each of our speakers for sharing their experiences. Your stories truly inspire all of us. Thank you all for joining today, and we hope you feel motivated to join us as a facilitator at either CELA 18 or other CELA Academy, and have a wonderful evening or day for our American friends, and keep making a difference.